Well, good morning and thank you for tuning in once again. Our final podcast for NCYC 2019 from the Diocese of Greensburg. And we're coming to you from the ballroom we've had all week, kind of to socialize in a little bit. And it is kind of deafeningly quiet because the socials have run out for the week. But we still have a lot to talk about, a lot to bring to you. And before we started, we were talking about our T-shirts, our diocesan T-shirts, and we had to put them back on, and make sure that you saw them. This is Jesus dressed like Mr. Rogers, and I know a new movie's coming out. Who's excited about that new movie?
I'm really excited for Mr. Rogers.
I haven't seen much about it, but
Tom Hanks is in it. Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers.
I don't really know Tom Hanks, but okay.
Did you see that Forrest Gump? You ever seen Forrest Gump? It was like 23 years before you were born.
I want to, but I've never seen it, yeah.
So
Yeah, he's the voice of Woody.
Oh, okay, cool.
good connection to make. And did you see, for those of you who know who Tom Hanks is, did you see that he's actually related to Mr. Rogers?
What?
Oh,
Really?
wait, what?
I didn't hear
Yes,
about
and
this.
so they did the
That's
whole
real cool, guys.
lineage, and he never knew it, but there's a German grandfather that, like, 6 generations back, I guess, don't quote me on the number of generations, but a few generations back, there's a link, and so they
6
are
generations
actually related.
That's
and,
pretty cool.
Mr. Rogers, it means a lot to us, I think, because he's a good visionary that we can look to live our lives after, but, he's right from our local area. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I grew up watching him and the trolley on TV.
I used to watch him before preschool every day.
Yeah, I would watch it all the time. Go to
Love that show.
Idlewild, ride the
Oh, yes,
ride.
and now Idlewild has that whole Daniel Tiger neighborhood section.
My kids
Yeah, it
watch
used to
Daniel
be-
Tiger now, so.
I was more of a Dora the Explorer man, but
Well, our Mr. Rogers shirts were extremely popular,
Everyone
and
loves them. The stickers. Oh,
Oh yeah.
the stickers, there were
passing out those
keychains as
stickers.
well.
Yeah.
So all that Mr. Rogers themed stuff went really well when we talk about trading. So tell me a little bit about what you traded for. What was your favorite trade? Why do we trade? What's the story on
My
it?
favorite trade was bucket hats.
Bucket hats.
Bucket hats.
And how many hats
Specifically,
did you? So you started with a golf hat.
I started with a golf hat, and then I traded for a cow bucket hat.
Okay.
So it's a cow print bucket hat. And then I traded, actually my friend traded her scarf for a Iowa bucket hat that has Iowa and it says NCYC on it. So it's just a plain white bucket hat and it's a good look.
Yeah, I traded my golf hat to try and get a bucket hat, and it was from Colorado, and I loved it.
Reversible.
Huh?
Isn't that the
Yeah, it's
reversible one?
reversible. It's amazing, and I love it.
Multifunctional.
And then my other hat, I traded a headband for this Halo headband and sunglasses. So that was fun.
Robbie, what about you?
I started off with a nice little piñata hat, and I made quite a few trades. My youth minister, Elisa, was really confused because every time she saw me, I had a new hat on. But long story short, I have this hat now that I'm allowing Elizabeth to borrow.
It's
Yeah,
very nice. It lights up.
I really
appreciate
think trading is a nice way for us all to connect, and it allows us all to talk to each other.
it's a good
and-
way to socialize and
Yeah.
meet people.
It
You're like,
builds a
hey,
com-
where are you from? I like
builds a
your hat. Want to
community.
trade? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Now, in addition to trading, sticking a sticker on someone or clipping someone, that's kind of a tradition at NCYC as well, right?
Yes. Clothespinning people. It's a good way to meet people, I guess, and tell them, hey, I love Jesus. You should love Jesus too.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun because you just walk around and
quirky
you
things.
you try and be as sneaky as possible, but I'm not sneaky, so you can tell when I'm coming. I'm laughing and I'm just
Oh, and you're like that
I'm
awkward person who
geez.
pinches them as you pin
Yeah.
them.
I'm oh, there's a pink coming at you. Just be ready. 'cause
My
you can
friends
hear
and I
me.
always joke that we wish it was socially acceptable to pin people in other places other than NCYC because everyone just accepts it and it's
Yeah,
a cute little quirky
yeah.
thing.
I think if you did that giant eagle, people would be really
yeah,
freaked
or,
out.
Yeah,
if I was just
looks.
walking around my high school
oh.
with the clothespin.
It's funny here, it's so acceptable in the culture that even at our opening Region 3 liturgy, Bishop Barczyk made a joke that he wasn't trading his hat with anyone else. So, even the bishops and priests
I
know
would
that
have
that's
taken that
coming.
hat though.
It's pretty
I
nice hat.
mean,
I think the bishop
I would have
loved
traded my
the piñata
bucket
hat.
hat for that. but-
Now,
Straight up.
before we started, we were talking a little bit about things we wanted to get in on our final podcast, and one of the things that someone mentioned was the Bible pledge, and so I wanted to jump right into that. and talk a little bit about the Bible pledge that went on this week.
So the opening night, our very first ceremony, we all made a pledge to begin to read our Bible every day and like incorporate the scripture and the word into our everyday lives and truly get to know the Bible. And then we started our first full day. Our morning session started with actually a Bible study of the Road to Emmaus that we talked about in our first episode, and it was really nice.
Yeah, I think it was so moving that everyone in the stadium was like, yeah, I'll start doing it.
They had their Bible in their hand while this was happening.
We were like, we're ready to do this, and we're all going to do it together, and we're all going to, if we haven't started, we're going to start as soon as we get home or today, and we're going to just all push towards this common goal of like all growing closer to Christ.
During the Bible pledge, while we were holding up our Bibles, pledging to read the Bible every day, I brought a new, fresh, crisp Bible, never
pages.
opened, still had some nice wrap around it, and I couldn't get the wrap off during the pledge, so I was kind of like picking at it the whole time, just pledging to read the Bible while trying to open my Bible to read it.
So you pledged to open it, or have you gotten it open?
Did you get
yet?
it open?
I did get it open.
Did you get it
believe
open
Oh,
for the
good,
Bible
good.
study the next morning where we sat and read it?
I did not hear about it. So.
Oh.
You know, I
They
think
told
that
us to bring our Bibles.
there's a little bit of a misconception among different faith backgrounds, you know, maybe that as Catholics that we don't share in that reading of the Word, and we definitely do through our liturgies, and but it's a great way that we can expound upon that when we're at home, or to read along as we're within those liturgies or within the church united. So I think that was a great thing to see, is that Bible pledge. And I'll be curious in a year or so, as I have conversations with people at the next NCYC, will they say, you know, I still have that Bible and I'm this far through it, or you know, these are the points that I have picked up on and learned and taken to heart. Other favorite things that anyone wants to get in before we part with our people here for the last time?
One of my favorite things was just randomly yelling at people, but like nice yelling, like,
Starting chants.
yeah, you know. I
I
mean,
say
I did
NC.
try and chant once, but no one
NCYC.
responded, so
That's what walk.
NC.
YC.
NC.
YC. Hey,
God is good.
all the time.
All the time.
God
God is
is
good.
good.
See, so I think it's a great visualization that the church is really universal. I know we talked about that in our first episode, the fact that no matter what background, no matter what twang you have in your voice, if you are Catholic, if you're a Roman Catholic, you're celebrating in very much the same way, the same style. And that's a great thing to see here at NCYC.
Definitely.
I think one of the things we have to do, though, before we go, we only have a minute or so left, is kind of to thank everyone who helped to support this pilgrimage to this mountaintop experience to NCYC. Anyone in particular that you guys would like to thank?
The community for doing all of our fundraisers and helping us out, because we wouldn't be here without you guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I remember I went to my grandma's like Labor Day party, and I was just going around asking for donations, and everyone was just so kind, and they were like, "Oh, what's it for?" Like, I'm so willing to donate and like helping grow closer to Christ, and I think it's so amazing that like people want to help you out if you ask for it.
I'd also like to thank the committee that helped plan this.
yes.
Was like NCYC, maybe.
National Federation of Catholic Youth Ministry.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they it is a mouthful, but they put this together every other year, and I hear rumor that there may be a West Coast version coming in off years. But
Ooh.
That
I don't
sounds
know. I don't know how much
Exclusive.
about that. So that could be coming very soon. But we thank them very much for their work, and also the committees within our parishes, youth
Christy
ministers.
Smith.
Christy Smith
Christy
of the Diocese of
Smith.
Greensburg. So
the
there's
Diocese of Greensburg in general.
a lot
yeah.
of people that we have to thank because they
Pope Francis
allow
for
us
that
to do
message.
this.
Papa Frankie.
Yeah, love him.
What?
So, you know, we do extend our thanks, of course, to the community. Any final words? Last 30 seconds.
We
Thanks
love
for
you guys.
listening.
Thanks for
Thank
listening
you
to
for
our
bearing
rambling.
with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thanks. We so appreciate it.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
We'll see
Hey,
you
thanks for
next time.
tuning in. Make sure you look at all of our archive footage, videos, and more at youtube.com, Facebook, and on Instagram. Have a great day. God bless you, and we'll see you in another year.